And we're back. Happy football 2025 to you and yours. That was fun, wasn't it, everybody? It was. Welcome to another season of the Bark Tank presented to you by Sugardale. I made a quick trip to the home office today. We're so happy you're here with us on a Victory Monday as we sit here and record this. This is the Bark Tank presented by Sugardale. My name is Andrew Siciliano after a Browns victory 30-10 over the Carolina Panthers. Friday night lights down in Charlotte last week. A game in which Shedeur Sanders' friends looked the part. You've seen the highlights by now. You've likely heard the mic'd up segment that the Browns content team did such great work with. Check it out on clevelandbrowns.com. Shedeur mic'd up and his interaction there with Myles Garrett on the sideline, hysterical. Go check it out a little bit later when you're done with this pod. But let's just step back for a couple of seconds here and get away from the hype and go to Friday afternoon or Friday evening when we're in the booth or Friday night when we're on the field before the game began. I said to Nathan Zegura, my partner, and Gerard Cherry, our partner down to the sideline, and I said, guys, I am as excited, I beg your pardon, for this game as I have been for any Browns preseason game in recent memory. Now, we've said all summer, ever since the draft, that these preseason games with a legitimate quarterback battle will mean something, as will the joint practice with the Panthers and the two joint practices coming up this week with the Philadelphia Eagles. And guess what? They do mean something. And guess what? Shidor Sanders looked the part. Forget about the stats for a second. Look at the little things. Look at the way he moved in the pocket, right? And give credit to Amani Marshall, undrafted rookie free agent running back from App State, who picked up that blitz. And then Shedeur slid to his right. And then he found Caden Davis. And he threw it low where only Davis can get it. Great accuracy. Go to the first touchdown where he's rolling to his left and he throws that layered ball into the corner, and Davis again makes a very nice play. There's a lot of traffic. It's one of those where when you throw it, you're like, oh no, even though they all 22, there are a lot of hands there, but Shedeur with great accuracy. Look at the ball that he hit to Luke Floria down the sideline. Again, out of the pocket. Luke with an amazing one-handed catch. Those are the plays you want to see your rookie, or for that matter, any quarterback make. And he did it with limited reps in practice. Now, all of you, and I say you, I don't mean necessarily Browns fans, a lot of this was just national media noise that wanted to say, well, bad setup. Guys barely practice. Why do you throw him out there? I counter with this. Who doesn't want opportunity? All of us want opportunity. And when the lights go on and given the opportunity to show what you can do, he did it. Who doesn't want opportunity? Who doesn't want a chance? He was given the chance. He did the job. And yes, it'll be fascinating now moving forward. I loved his interview on the sideline with a friend of Didi Kinkabwala on the News 5 broadcast. Great job, by the way, Chris and Joe. I watched when I came home. And Aditi, of course. He gave himself a C, if I recall, like a grade, a letter grade, right? He was self-deprecating, self-critical on the sideline, and afterwards on the podium as well, right? That's great. Like understanding there is more to improve on, understanding that was far from a great game, but understanding that when given the opportunity, you better believe he seized it. Yeah, he did. And now the quarterback competition gets that much more interesting because Dylan Gabriel is easing back into form. He was able to practice on Monday. Kenny Pickett did some 7-on-7 stuff as well. He's going to get back. Joe Flacco working with the ones primarily on Monday. People say, well, what do you read in to the fact that Flacco didn't play? Well, look, Flacco is likely going to start. For my money, this is just me, week 1. That could change. A lot of time between now and week 1. But the Browns starters did not play, and Joe Flacco is healthy. So you figure it out. At least where we stood on Friday night. Joe Flacco, during the joint practice on Wednesday, there were 8 quarterbacks dressed, including Tyler Huntley, and then the 3 for Carolina. You had Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, and Jack Coker. Joe Flacco threw the best ball of those 8 quarterbacks. And I was standing on the field on Wednesday. How does it go moving forward? I don't know. But the headline here, and you can feel good about it, is Shedeur Sanders looked the part and made the quarterback conversation that much more interesting. let's point out other guys that look good as well. I have said, and I've said it all summer, that if you want to take the quarterback conversation out of it just briefly, the other Browns rookies, this class from April, will determine the future, truly, just as much as the quarterbacks will. Mason Graham played well. Carson Schlesinger had 6 tackles in 12 plays. Asking for a friend. Is that good? It's good. Dylan Sampson didn't get much run. Harold Fannin didn't get much run. What does that tell you? It tells you they're going to be a huge part of this team from day one. Because if they're barely out there, right, what does that mean? It means they've already showed enough. They're going to be a huge part of this team week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals at Huntington Bank Field on September 7th. Also, looking pretty good. Undrafted guys like Luke Floria. Now, unfortunately, on that beautiful 30-yard catch down the right sideline where he tipped it to himself, Floria pulled a hammy, and the Browns today have waived him with an injury designation. It's heartbreaking. A guy who grew up going to Browns games, his dad Joe, season tickets, used to go to camp, used to go to games with a jersey on. He looked so good at training camp, so good. And he looked really good out there with that great catch in front of the national TV audience. But as soon as he caught it, he grabbed that hammy, and he has the injury designation. Gage Larvidan, friends, had the touchdown to the end around. He was also making plays in practice on Monday, and he has now a legitimate shot, in my opinion, to make this team. He's listed on your roster as South Carolina, but Gage Larvidan played at Miami of Ohio before that. He played at a school in Louisiana initially out of high school. He's a New Orleans kid. But Gage Larvidan, keep an eye on that name. And again, Larvidan, not Larvidanian, or like a lot of people have messed it up. It is Larvidan. He stood out as well. Coming up shortly, we're going to talk to a guy that stood out on the defensive side that I love. I'm excited for you to get to know Tony Brown, or as he now calls himself, Apex. And he may even, fingers crossed, he may even bring his staff with him. You saw the staff as he entered Bank of America Stadium on Friday night with Shedeur Sanders, and he got a lot of national pub. I'm laughing not at Tony Brown or Apex. I'm laughing because I love the guy. Nathan and I love the guy. He truly is one of our favorite people at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus, and I'm excited that you get a chance to meet him. Also, standing out for the Browns, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I thought Luke Whippler did really well at center. He played the majority of the first half. It is vital this year for the Browns to find depth on the offensive line. Luke Whippler and Zach Zinner being 2 huge pieces, one in his 3rd year, one in his 2nd year. Zach Zinner didn't make the trip, but he should be good to go and back in practice this week. So that is significant. But Luke Whippler, and he's mic'd up, or rather, you could hear him on that Shedeur 12-minute mic'd up at clevelandbrowns.com. You could hear him talking to your quarterback. I thought Luke Whippler played well as well. Amani Marshall ran hard and picked up a block. Ask any coach in the NFL, any coach, right? What do you need from a rookie running back? It's blitz pickup. Running the football is great. Sure. But can I trust you on 3rd down? The second Shidor Sanders touchdown pass to Caden Davis happened because of Amani Marshall, who not only ran well, but was back in his old stomping grounds, played at App State in Boone, North Carolina. And we should also tip the cap to 35, Toa Taua. I'm sorry. Yes, Toa Taua. Sometimes I had a mental block on his name. It's the right way to say it. I memorized it 15 times. Former UFL Michigan Panther. Guy was out of football. Guy was working at a golf course, right? UFL called. He scored 6 touchdowns in a limited amount of games. He wasn't in camp. The Browns had some running back injuries. You get him into camp. Dude, that guy runs over people. Shoulder square, gets downhill. Look, if you might be a long shot to make the running back room, when you get to camp as late as you do, it's just a numbers game. But that guy ran through people. All right. I mentioned our man Tony Brown, also known as Apex. I am beyond thrilled that you get a chance to get to know him. Like I said, I can't be more happy, more thankful that this dude is here on the Bark Tank presented by Sugardale. He brought Excalibur. Tony Brown, Apex. We will get to Excalibur in a second. First of all, just welcome after a great game to this pod, which is called the Bark Tank. So, Tony, you are in the Bark Tank, my friend.
Bless. Pleasure to be here. Honored to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. That's all I got right now.
Hey,
Thank you.
We're blessed and honored as well. Before we talk about all the national hype and Excalibur and the entrance on Friday, let's talk about you because you deserve your flowers here. Tony, you didn't play a single defensive snap last year. Special teams demon, then the injury, then you went on the shelf. But you played 32 defensive snaps Friday, and it wasn't just, hey, he's out there. You're hitting people. You're lowering shoulders and breaking up passes as the second guy in. You're going stride for stride with a top 10 pick, a guy who's 4 or 5 inches taller than you in Tet McMillan, and you're blanketing him. You're not just a special teams guy. How good did that feel Friday night?
Well, first and most foremost, it was a blessing just to be out there to have the opportunity to be what I need to be for my brothers on the field, not just for myself. It always fulfills a hole in you whenever, the work that you put in, you get the outcome that you saw in your brain, that you envisioned from the work that you put in prior to. So it was a very nice feeling to be that guy who I said I was going to be for myself, for my family, and for my brothers.
And it sends a message because with MJ down, I mean, next man up at corner. Did it send the message, hey, man, I can be that guy. I can be a guy that it isn't just in on teams and isn't just chilling with Bubba. Like, I can be someone who contributes defensively.
In the defensive back room, the corners room specifically, we pride ourselves on you're only as strong as the weakest link. Everyone in the defensive back room comes in the room with the mind state of a starter because football is 100% injury rate. There's no guarantee that one corner will play the whole season, and you're only as good as the next man up. So in my brain, I'm always preparing like I'm a starter. I'm always, preparing that I'm the next man up. And I also want to say I'm still going to be there for Bubba regardless of anything in that role. But, it's not surprising or shocking, I don't think, to anyone in the room, the success that I had while I was in or that anyone has while I'm in. And there will be continued success in the DB room because that is the mindset that we attack practice with every day.
Yeah, we were not surprised. Nathan and I calling the game upstairs were in no way surprised. We loved it, too, when you're going up against Tet McMillan. What was that matchup like? Here's a top 10 guy, a guy that is getting all this hype. Bryce Young's going to look at him.
Yeah.
And he was in there in the second half as well. And you're going stride for stride and getting physical and manning him up.
Yeah, it's we just see numbers out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's the NFL. It's not, this is my 8th year in NFL. I've seen and covered illustrious names. There's names and numbers on the field. There is no point out there when this is XYZ. This is the guy that's in front of me. I'm going to stick to my technique and I'm going to force him to do something based off of my technique. I'm not going to change my technique based off of him. There's going to be a receiver matrix based on, the receivers' strong suits off their number, not off their name. So it's always off the number where they're aligned at, the personnel grouping. Those are things that go through my brain. It's never like, hey, yo, this is who it is. I am who I am, Apex.
So first of all, you are not a member of Shedeur Sanders' entourage, as I believe some people referred to you online. You heard that, right? Or on TV?
Yes, I've definitely heard that. I've heard that.
You're not a member of the entourage. You're in your 8th NFL season. You're a good football player. So I was on the bus. That music was playing on the bus. And you guys get off the bus, and you had the big entrance. First of all, that was your speaker that you were okay. How big is that speaker?
Was my bag. And that was my bag. So they said I was carrying this bag. That was my bag.
Okay. How big is that speaker?
I can't give. It was like it's like I guess 3 feet tall. I guess.
Okay. And that was Shedeur's unreleased song.
Correct.
Okay, and it kept playing on a loop.
Yes.
Okay. How did you guys come up with this?
So I'm a veteran, right, on the team. Shedeur is a great, awesome young player. I have a lot of respect for what he represents as a son, as a football player, and as someone who persevered. Um, a situation that everyone in the world saw, that everyone in the world that was watching. Um, in my life, right, and this goes along with the staff. I have a I have a gift to empower people with me being my authentic self and me having like the power of what's the word I'm looking for? I'll find it later in this pod, but like I want to empower people. So as I was talking to Shedeur and we found out he's starting, I'm very close with him since the first day I met him. Like I told him, hey, I want to be the guy that you can go to whenever, with anything, bro. When when you bump your head on the wall, you don't understand this. And so we were developing great rapport all through OTAs up to now. And when I found out he had to start, I'm like, yo, this is my opportunity. I want to make sure that he is exactly what he needs to be on game day, regardless of any other factors that have to do with anything. Forget the outside world, forget this, that. Hey, Shedeur, I call it Shay, but like, what do you need for you to be your best out there on the field? And like, we got to talking like, this is what I'm gonna need, do. I'm like, all right, listen, as a young player, you can like second guess, like, oh man, but people are gonna judge. Like they did judge. Like they're gonna judge me if I do this. But listen, bro, at the end of the day, you are the one playing. You are the one throwing the ball. You are the one taking the steps. You are the one that's going to lead us on the field today. Regardless of what round you went, regardless of how everything shook out, it just so happens that the first time the Browns put jerseys on, you should draw the starter. So that's the only thing that matters. So we need to attack this game exactly as you envision yourself being in the NFL. Like I talked to him about how, the interviews he said how he talked how he could change the franchise, how he could do this. I'm like, this is a great moment in order to prove it to not to just to yourself, but like to the world, to anyone that you thought doubted you. Like this is the opportunity. So as we were talking through, like, yo, I gotta go full Shedeur. I'm like, okay, bet, let's go full Shedeur. So I'm like, so that was the biggest thing. I like to empower young guys because I love everything he represents as second generation of excellence. I have the highest level of respect for what his father's done with his children and for what his father brought to the NFL, to the game of football. I met Dion when I was a senior in high school at the Under Armour game. My shoulder popped out and he had a quick conversation with me just about perseverance. And I don't even know if he remembers, but, that's somebody I look up to. And so just in that respect that I have for his father, like I felt the responsibility to empower this young man to go have to feel as comfortable in his skin as he can to go be the great player that he is.
Yeah, and we saw that on the field on Friday night. I used to work with this old man at NFL Network, so I feel old here. All of this. Tony, real quick, because we got like a minute remaining. Let's say hypothetically, because it's a quarterback competition. Don't know yet who's going to start in Philadelphia. But let's say Kenny Pickett came to you because he's going to start and said, Apex, I want to walk through the tunnel with you and your speaker. What song is Kenny Pickett playing?
Kenny Pickett is probably going to play what's the guy that sings Tennessee Whiskey? Napleton? What's his name?
Stapleton.
Yes. He's probably going to play some type of country pop, but like like the pop kind of not rap, but like the country pop just a little bit. That's probably what Kenny Pickett would play.
Okay, this is good. What would Dylan Gabriel play?
DG might play like a original Apex. I got a lot of music that nobody's heard yet, but
one of your unreleased tracks.
Yes. But believe Cleveland Browns fans, you're in store for some good stuff though. But yes, DG would probably play one of the unreleased Apex songs.
What would Snoop Huntley play?
Snoop might come with some Kodak.
Okay, I can roll
Kodak
with that.
Black.
And then finally, Tony Brown, Apex. What would Joe Flacco play?
Joe Flacco. God, that's a good one. Honestly, to be honest, I don't think I've even seen Joe vibe to music yet. To be honest, I haven't even seen Joe, like he's heard some of my music, but I haven't actually seen him like vibe to music yet. So just to go out on a limb, to go out on a complete limb, maybe Drake. I don't know. Maybe Drake. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know with Joe. That's a big question mark. I don't know that one.
I mean, Tony, come on. He might just look at you and just go, "Get the hell out of here, man."
I don't know with Joe, man. I don't know with Smoking Joe. I don't know with that one. That's a good one.
Apex, Tony Brown, I appreciate this. I hope we can continue it later. Happy
Yes.
to see you play the way you did on Friday. Browns get a win, 30 unanswered,
Yeah.
and now it is on to Philadelphia, man. Good luck.
Bless.
I will
Thank
see
you
you
for
in
having me.
Philly. Thank you.
Bless.
And for the record, I just want to make something clear. It's Apex with a 3. AP3X is how our friend Tony Brown spells his name. Love him. We will have him back. Looking ahead to Philadelphia, as we mentioned, Browns have 2 days to join practice, Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is an off day. And then a matinee on Saturday at Lincoln Financial. Gerard Cherry, Nathan Zagura, yours truly. Please join us at 1 o'clock. Let's go around the AFC North real quick. Let's give you some other news in the league. Time now for What's Sizzlin'? Brought to you by Sugardale. In the AFC North, the Ravens played on Friday, and they had yet another injury. This time, it's Robert Longerbeam. You may not know him. He's a 6th-round rookie, a corner out of Rutgers. I had one of his games last year. He's a physical corner that would have given them some really good depth this year. It's also a very deep position regardless. He goes on injured reserve. Robert Longerbeam is out for the season. In Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers did not play in the Steelers' preseason opener. However, Skylar Thompson looked pretty good. Also, there is news out of Pittsburgh reportedly that both Cam Hayward and kicker Chris Boswell aren't necessarily holding in, but they haven't been doing much, especially Hayward, and that both would like new contracts. And in Cincinnati, the Browns' Week 1 opponent, September 7th at Huntington Bank Field. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase looked the part, certainly on Thursday night, as they played the entire first quarter. So gone are the days of the Bengals playing nobody in the preseason. They say they don't want to be rusty Week 1. We got a couple of weeks until Week 1. We will see if that actually works in the Browns' home opener at Huntington Bank Field. That's going to do it. Tune in next week for another edition of the Bark Tank presented by Sugardale. Happy to be back with you. Happy to be back after a Browns victory. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends all about it. My name is Andrew Siciliano. So long, everybody.